We're going to hear from John Boehner, also the president coming up at 12:15, as you mentioned as well. So a lot more we'll be talking to Dan about. Thank you, as always. And a reminder, the president, that event coming up in the noon Eastern hour. We'll certainly have it for you right here on CNN. But at 5 minutes past the hour, we need to turn to Iraq. And this morning, there's some new concerns about the future of that country. American troops pulled out. A wave of bombings has killed at least 63 people, wounded another 200. The explosions come after an arrest warrant was issued for the nation's vice president. CNN's Paul David.
Tonight I want to take a few minutes to discuss a grave threat to peace and America's determination to lead the world in confronting that threat. The threat comes from Iraq. It arises directly from the Iraqi regime's own actions, its history of aggression, and its drive toward an arsenal of terror. 11 years ago, as a condition for ending the Persian Gulf War, the Iraqi regime was required to destroy its weapons of mass destruction, to cease all development of such weapons, and to stop all support for terrorist groups. The Iraqi regime has violated all of those obligations.
Yeah, and we're also quick to remind everyone that even though the war, militarily speaking, may have been over for the U.S., it most certainly is not for the Iraqis, and the violence today is really creating such a nightmare scenario for this nation, because it comes, as you were mentioning there briefly, as it seems that the government is collapsing like a house of cards. The explosions, the violence that took place here earlier this morning, 16 explosions, TJ, all of them happening within 2 hours during rush hour. They were targeting mostly civilians. One of the bombs went off just outside of a school as children were arriving, others in marketplaces, crowded intersections. No claim of responsibility just yet, but this restirring many fears amongst people about the stability of their country and the capabilities of the Iraqi security forces. That, coupled with the political instability taking place here right now, is really causing a lot of Iraqis to wonder what kind of an America the U.S. has really left behind, TJ.
And this sectarian strife we're talking about here, the vice president, there's an arrest warrant for him on some kind of a terrorism charge. What is that doing? I mean, one thing to have some political back and forth, it's a young democracy, and we get that.
We come out of all of this dramatic sound and light and fury that we just...
Nice. 先のニュースは全部嘘だろ。そうだぜ。だけどもちょっとした考え事になる。若い女性が都合のいい時だけ西洋化によってたがっても、いつかしっぺ返しを食らうということ。難しいですね。君がそう言うならば、外国と比べてもひどいものでしょう。電車で会った外人さんから収束が来るぐらいです。議論を取らず、テロまがいのことをやってくれて、そりゃ頭痛の種になるぜ。まあ、せっかくの3月5日の土地公祭りに楽しもうぜ。人形劇の次はパレードみたいですよ。そうみたいですね。それしてもすごい爆竹の使い方ですね。何箱も1回で使い切って、その爆発が10何メートルになり、空の向こうまで届きそう。もっとすごいのがあるぜ。みこしが帰ったら一緒に見よう。前でな。